don't know. I think that's you'd have to ask him. I mean, I think the bottom line is our team needs to go pick our team up, and I think you'll notice there was one that was really good. Somebody got knocked down right before a timeout. It might have been when Sullinger got knocked down. The whole bench went and got him, and I thought that was great. Again, we're going to be out there, and we've got to continue to grind and build, and it's not easy when things aren't going your way from a win-loss standpoint. But if we continue to show team and show improvement, then maybe we can get over the hump in a game like this. A week from now or 2 weeks from now, or whenever the case may be. I just want to make sure we're continuing to move in that direction.
Rondo talk time.
Rondo.
He is a leader now. After one night. Okay, so lots of noise going on.
Lots of noise.
Today. Okay, so you know the story by now. Skips a Sacramento trip to celebrate his birthday in L.A. We don't know if he told the team beforehand. Certainly seems like he didn't. No. Had a conversation with Danny Ainge apparently for a while. Danny came out of it saying leaders make mistakes or whatever. So he comes out tonight, and I think a little bit more noticeable than usual. He does think, it's not like he's ever done these things before, but he sneaks in on a huddle, which he definitely has done before against the Heat. Basically teams that he hates or is super competitive with.
Yeah.
He pushes away another Pacers player who's trying to help one of Rondo's teammates up off the grounds. He
broke up a high five.
He broke up a high five. Well, he stole a high five. He didn't like break it up, right?
Well, George and Mahinmi were trying to high five, and he just got in the middle of it and broke it up.
Yeah,
he broke up a high five.
So he did a lot of kind of like Bush League competitive kind of stuff, which is super amusing and gift worthy and great for Twitter, of course.
Sure.
So we tried to talk to him about it after the game. Let's take a look at what he said.
We saw you not letting Pacer players help your teammates up and stuff like that. Does doing things like that really increase team competitiveness and cohesiveness?
I don't know. It's just how I play. I don't know if it increases it or not. We're out there competing.
What does it do for you?
It does nothing for me. This is how I play.
Is that just trying to get under the opponent's skin?
No, it's just how I play.
KG's kind of famous for that kind of stuff. Is that something you picked up from him, that he taught you that can give you an advantage?
No.
So, do you think that this is speculation, but did this come out of the conversation with Ainge? Did Ainge say you need to be an example leader?
No. I'll tell you what it came out of, though. Rajon Rondo is jealous of players that are getting more hype than he is. And we saw this a few years ago with Derrick Rose. When Derrick Rose was more popular than him, he wanted to get back at him. And now it's Paul George. I mean, look, Paul George in the first quarter was getting hot offensively, and Rondo started picking him up half court and just hounding him on ball, like relentlessly guarding the guy. And then he's breaking up his high five, and then he's refusing to let players help him up. And then, he's mad at Paul George. He's got a grudge. I think that's what it is. Mm-hmm. I think it's... A lot of the stuff is silly. Like, who cares whether the guy gets a high five or not? That's not really important. But when that competitiveness bleeds into the basketball side of things, that's when it gets interesting. Because we saw him guarding Paul George one-on-one really well. We saw him try to answer Paul George's three-pointer late in the game with his own three, and he missed. But the fact that he's trying, the fact that he's taking that big shot because he's so competitive and he wants to make that shot, and he wants to beat Paul George in his own game, that's important. When it actually affects the way he plays basketball, that's when it gets interesting. And we saw that tonight. We saw him want to outplay Paul George and match him play for play, and that's really cool. It didn't work. Paul George was better than him tonight, and they lost. But the fact that he's showing that competitive spirit is really cool, and you've got to like that as a fan of Rondo's to just see him playing the way he's playing tonight.
We were both tweeting about this during the game. Rondo's defensive intensity.
Yeah.
Let's be frank.
It comes and goes.
he's been nearly Defensive Player of the Year a couple times in his career, and I think pretty consistently from his third year and then going down from there.
Been in that conversation.
He's stopped. But he's kind of gradually stopped putting in the level of consistent effort on defense. He kind of became just like a gamble steal kind of guy, worse than any other player in the league. And thankfully, frankly, he's been kind of a major issue on defense. But tonight, it was just locked in Avery Bradley type on ball pressure.
It was Avery Bradley type, yeah.
And it was awesome. And you kind of forget that he can single handedly take over games defensively when he puts his mind to it. It's just kind of rare that he decides to do it.
I mean, he did to LeBron in the playoffs in 2010, and they beat the Cavaliers because of it. That was a big thing.
That was a legendary defensive.
It was a legendary defensive performance. He's capable of that, and I think there's games like this where it's like a national TV game. Goes the cliche about Rondo. He has games where he turns it on and he really, really, really wants to play defensively really well. It's a treat when you get to see these games because they don't happen that often anymore. I think when you're on a team that's 20-40, you don't have the same motivation as when you're in the playoffs, and that's human. But tonight was a really good thing to see because it shows that Rondo still has it when he wants to have it.
You say it was a national game?
It's like it's a national TV
Okay,
game.
so this because I saw someone wearing an ESPN shirt, and I was thinking, is this a national game tonight?
Nah, there's just Sloan
It was
people
yeah,
around.
it's such a
I
low
don't know.
presence. Yeah, it was fun having a lot of people in town for Sloan. That always makes it interesting.
There's always a weekend game here.
I like to think that Rondo is trying to step it up just for the people from Sloan. I think he
Might
cares
be
about.
overthinking
I
it a
think he
little
cares
bit.
about the bloggers and the plaid shirts out. Oh wait, no plaid tonight.
No plaid for me. I got the plain.
We'd
red.
have Jimmy here. Jimmy would probably be rocking plaid tonight.
Yeah, he beat the lumberjack of the group.
Do you think Rondo's changed in the last 24 hours? It's a
last
ridiculous
24 hours?
question.
It's a ridiculous question.
72 hours, whatever it was. Yeah.
No, I don't. If you're asking about the birthday thing, then
Yeah.
no, get that out of here. No
Okay.
way. But I mean, I think he's getting better after he's been back for 6 weeks from the ACL. He's getting up to his full 11 of minutes. He's playing as competitively as he has in his career right now, and he just wants to keep that rhythm going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's about the birthday gate or anything like that. But he's just playing well, and he needs to keep that going.
Okay. Was there anything you saw out of this team tonight that you think was notable? We don't really do these open-ended questions on the show very often. We try to keep it streamlined. But was there something tonight? Because it was just a really good game. Was there something tonight that kind of really just stood out to you?
I mean, just everybody played well together at the same time. Like Jeff Green was good. Jeff Green playing aggressively, finding ways to score. Humphries was playing well in the paint, rebounding. Rondo was Rondo. Like everybody played their role well. And that was enough to keep this game close. And, also the Pacers were without George Hill. They had Hibbert and West kind of so-so. And, the Pacers were not at their absolute best, and the Celtics were at their best, and close game.
Well, for me, it was a leading question because I have an answer.
Give your answer then.
Okay,
go ahead.
For one, they basically went with a 7-man rotation tonight. I think
Yeah,
Phil
they had
Pressey got about 10 minutes, but I mean it was Johnson and Solinger were the two guys off the bench basically.
Right.
But their roster was so depleted tonight. And you're seeing that with this team, it really isn't about talent. It's really about coaching and leadership and just overall effort with these guys because they went up against one of the best teams in the league at pretty much full strength. And despite them being completely depleted, they went shot for shot with them. And if that Rondo 3 had been 0.05 seconds or 0.005 seconds earlier, it would have been basically a one-possession game, and they would have had a very good shot at winning this game. I mean, this team, it's really competitiveness has been their issue all year. It's Jeff Green gets shredded on this show constantly. I mean, he went 10 for 22 tonight, but I thought it was one of his better games that he's had in a while. He seemed locked in. It seemed like going up against Paul George kind of really brought that out of him. And I think that his kind of inconsistency has made an impact on this team, and you don't really see them playing cohesively, playing aggressively, and that's why the Rondo thing with Paul George and all that does make a big impact on this team. And I know Brad Stevens kind of blew it off as not being a major competitiveness driver. Rondo laughed in my face basically about that question, but it really does make a difference for this team.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we go on and on.
Is that too emotional for you?
No, I mean, we go back and forth about this, whether Jeff Green is being aggressive or not aggressive. All of this inconsistency is just a euphemism for he's not very good. Guys like
Well, I
Paul
don't
George are
think
just
so.
better than him, and
Well,
that's why
sure.
they play well more often.
Sure.
They're just better players. And I
But I think it's way more mental than talent-wise. Because talent-wise,
I don't know that.
He's almost as good as Paul George, just on scoring.
Where are you getting
ability.
that from?
I said his scoring skills are almost as good as Paul George's, but there's a massive
rubbish.
mental
Are you
difference.
joking?
We're just talking about his ability to shoot the ball, his ability to get in the air and finish. It's remotely comparable to Paul George.
Remotely comparable.
Remotely comparable.
Okay,
to
I'll
Paul
give you
George.
remotely comparable.
But
We'll leave it at
the
that.
mental aspect is so. It's not even. There's not enough room in the frame of the shot for me to show the
I
difference.
can't read Jeff Green's mind. I can't know if he's feeling lazy on a given night or not. I just know that Paul George plays better
Pretty
over the
apparent.
course of a season.
Paul
than-
George plays with intensity and confidence and intelligence.
Also just
at
a more
almost
skilled
every-
player. He creates his own shot. He's faster. He's quicker. He has better instincts. He's just better in every way. I don't really know what else to say to you. I don't know.
Agree to disagree?
Sure.
Okay, whatever. That was fun. So part 3, we'll give out our boxing and balling awards.
Let's do
This
that.
is the Garden Report on Celtics blog and CLNS Radio.
It's 12:41 in the morning. I just want to go home.
I've been working. I give Ryan Adams a lot of credit. He's been with me since day one. as much as possible. You know, in the beginning, I can only move so much, but I just we continue trying to work and shoot the ball in confidence.
What does Ron do that's different than other coaches who have helped you with shooting in the past?
It's hard to put a finger on it. We started long, a couple months back. For us fundamentally starting really close to the rim. It's so much stuff. They continue to critique me and stay on me with my shot. So you gotta ask him. I think he's helped improve Avery Bradley. He's shooting the ball extremely well. And I told Ron when I come back, I want to shoot like Avery.